So hello everyone. So this is a SQL series one. So in this SQL series one, I want to discuss about how to create tables in the MySQL database. So here I am taking a MySQL database and assume that we have some data in my Excel file. So we have data in our CSV file. So how to create a table in the MySQL database with the same data what we have in the CSV file. So there are two methods mainly to create tables in the database. We have mainly two methods. So the first method is we can directly import the CSV file into the MySQL database, and in that way we can create the table. That is the first method. And the second method is we can write the SQL code to create the table with this data. Okay. So first let's go to first method. So I have opened here MySQL workbench here. So in this MySQL workbench, so I have four schemas here. This is the one schema, second, third, and fourth schema. So here I want to create table in the Tableau schema. Okay. So just click on this arrow. Now under tables, I have only one table only now. So I want to create one more table, which is called sales table. So for that, the direct method is I can right click on the table here. Just click on the table data import wizard. So in that, a window will be opened here. I can directly go to the browse option and I can browse for the CSV file in which I have the data. So I have the data in this CSV file. You can select that one, just click on open. Now just go to next option. So here it will show you some methods, some options here. So just click on the create new table. So if the table is already existed and if you want to drop that table, then you can simply click on this option, drop table if exist. So for example, we have to give the schema name here and we have to give the table name here. So if the table is already existed, right, then if you want to delete that table and if you want to recreate that table, you can simply click on this option. Okay. Or if you want to use the existing table, right, then you can go for use existing table option. Okay. So now just click on next option. Okay, so this window will show you what are all the columns we have in the CSV file. So this is the first column. We have employee ID or sales rep name, product, sale date, and sales value. And this is one additional column. For example, we don't have this column in the CSV file, but because of some null values, I'm getting this column here. So you see the same column here also you can see here. So if you don't want this column in the output here, right, what I will do, yeah, you can simply uncheck this option. Okay. Now you see across each field, across each column here, we have to mention the data type here. So for example, for employee ID, the data type they have taken is text here. Okay. So for each and every column, we have to mention the data types. For example, sales field is there. For sales field, I want to mention the data type is integer. So I have to select that integer here. Okay. Now go to the next option. So here again, so here we have two options are there, prepare import and import data file. So just click on the next option. Those two will be checked here. So finished performing task to continue, just go to the next option here. Now here you can see in this window, you can see three records imported. Okay. So in the CSV file, we have three records, right? So this is the first record, second record, third record. So all the records are imported into the database. Okay. So just click on the finish option. Now you see a table is created in the under Tableau schema under table list. Now when you click on refresh all, now I can see that table here. Okay. So if you want to check whether the data is existed in this table or not, so just select this syntax. So select star from table name we have to give. So in the from statement, we have to always give say, table name. So Tableau.sales, that means Tableau is a schema name. Okay. So in this schema, we have this sales table. Okay. And so in the select statement, we have to provide star here. Star means it will select all the columns like employee IDs, rep name, product, sale date, sales. So it will select all the columns. So just run this query. Now you see a table is created here with all the columns. Okay, so this is the first method. So in the real time, we will be using this method more frequently. Why? Because so if the data contains lakhs of records, right? So it is the easiest method to import the data. So this is the first method. Now let's go to the second method. So what is the second method here is, so we have to write a create table syntax here. So we have some methods here. So this is the method, this is the SQL code we have to write for creating the table. So before creating the same table, what I have to do is, first we will drop this table actually. So first we have already table is there, right? So I want to delete the table first, then we will create. Okay. So for example, if you want to delete the table, you can directly go to this sales table, right click the table, and you can simply click on the drop table. So drop table means it will completely delete the table. So or you can go for this syntax also. What is the syntax is drop table. We have to give the table name here. So you see when you run this query, the table will be deleted. You see under table list here, I don't see the table here. So if you want to confirm that, right, again, you can select star from table name. When you run this query, you don't get anything in the output actually. Why? Because the table is not existed. So if you go for the last row here, error here, you see table does not exist. Okay. Now I want to create the table using the SQL code here. So this is the SQL code for creating the table. So first we have to use the create table. After that, we have to give the table name. So the table name is sales table, and I want to create this table in the Tableau schema. Okay, so schema name dot table name we have to give. After that, we have to in these brackets, in the open braces and closed braces, we have to mention all our columns. So employee ID is one column, rep name is one column, product is one column, sales date is one column, sales is one column. So after each column, we have to mention the data type. For example, for employee ID, the varchar. So varchar means Tableau will take it as a dimension. So varchar means it is a text field or it is a string field. So Tableau will take first four as a dimensions, and Tableau will take the integer this column as a measure here. Okay. So after each column, we have to mention the data type. And for example, when you are mentioning the varchar, right, and within the brackets, we have to provide a number of characters. So for example, assume that for sales rep, I'm providing 10 characters here. So 10 characters means while providing the sales rep name, for example, for example, this sales rep name should have the characters less than or equal to 10 only. For example, if I provide a sales rep name which is having 11 characters, then it will not allow you. It will not allow you that name actually. Okay, so that is the meaning of 10 here. 10 means maximum we have to provide 10 characters only. For example, for sales rep, the sales rep name is there, right? The sales rep name, when you provide 10 here, the sales rep name should have 10 characters only maximum. It should not exceed that many characters. Okay. So this is the syntax. So just run this query. Now you see the table is created here. So if you go below here, you can see here green color tick mark. That means the table has created here. So if you want to check whether the table is created or not, okay, if you want to check whether the table is created or not, what I can do is I can go to select star from table name. So when you run this query, see it will show you the table is created with all the columns. So this syntax will create only table with all the columns only. It will not create the values. So we just have created table along with column names only we have created. Now what is my next task is I want to insert these data into the columns. I want to insert these values into these column names. So to insert the data into a particular table, what I can do is, so this is the syntax. So here you can write insert into table name. In the next line, you can write values. And here I can mention first row, second row, third row. So here you see employee ID is the first column, right? So here I have to put employee ID within a single quote. Why we have to provide this value within a single quote means This is a varchar. Varchar means it is a string here. For strings, we have to provide the values within the single quote. Okay. So sales rep. So this is the second is sales rep. So I have to provide sales rep name here. So third one is product. This is product one. Fourth one is sale date. So this is the date here I am providing. Date also we can provide within the single quote. So it should be like this only. Year, month, and day. In that format we have to provide here. And last one is sales here. The sales value is 100. So as the sales is an integer here, no need to provide this in the single braces. Sorry, no need to provide this in a within single quote. You can directly write the sales value here. So hope you understand. So this is the first row, this is the second row, this is the third row. Okay. So just run this query. Now you see when you run this query, now these values are inserted into the table now. So when you run that query, here you can see a green color tick mark. That means 3 records are affected. Okay. Now I want to check whether the data is inserted into the table or not. So I can run again, select star from sales table. Now when you run this query, you can see now the table has created with all the values what we have provided here. Okay. So if you want to drop the table, see for example, I want to delete all these rows again. So I can use a truncate table function here. Truncate table means it will delete all the rows, but it will keep the column names. Okay. Now just run this query, we'll see what will happen. So now all the records are deleted. If you want to check, just do this again, select star from. See all the rows are deleted, but we have still column names only, like that. Now if you want to insert again the data, you can run this query again. Now just when you run this query again, now you see the values are again inserted. So drop means it will completely delete the table, entire table, along with values and column names. The table itself will be deleted. So it will delete the table. Now truncate table means it will simply delete all the rows here. It will delete only rows. It will delete only rows. Okay. Now this is the second method for creating the tables in the MySQL database. Most probably this is the method for any of the database. Now we have one. Now let me drop the table again. Now let me drop this table again. Now when you just run this query, select star. I don't have any table now. Okay, why? Because I have deleted that table. Now this is the second method for creating a table, right? So now I will show you one more method to create the table. So for example, I want to create one table, and in that table, I want to copy the data from the another table. So from one table to from the existing table, I want to create one more table. So in that case, I can go for this method. So create table name we have to give, and from which table you want to get the data, right? So we have to write that query here. Select star from this table. So from this table, I want to copy the data into this table. So this is the new table I am going to create here. So this table will get the data from this table. Okay. Now you see if I go to table list, I don't have this table here. So this is the table which is called student data copy. Now I don't have that table here. Now when you run this query, so when you run this query, table has created, but I don't see that here. But if you go to right click and refresh all, I can see the table here. Now to check if the data is copied really or not, you can select star from this table name. So now I can see the data here. Okay. So here I'm writing this select star from this, right? So this is the syntax for creating the new table from the another table. So here I can write select star means it will select all the columns from this table, or you can mention specific columns also by simply writing a student name like that. Okay. So for example, I want to get only this column into this table. So what I will do first I will drop this table. First, let me drop this table. Now let's create this table. So this table is created now with only one column, that is student name. If you want to check that, just select star from that query. Now you see the table is created only with the student name like that. Okay. So this is for this session. In the next session, we will come up with more one more requirement. Okay. Thank you.